Acting. Yeah, neither. Oh, I put it. Yeah, okay. I am 243. And we're back with Harrowings in the Passing Show, live with Hal Gill, your host. Another day in the bonus round. It's January the 11th, 2026. First full day without Bob Weir on the planet, or at least in a living body.
Yeah.
Great adventure. Next phase. So we got Jesse Jameson, Frank Scudder, John Marshall. Hello, John. Veronique Rodman. You need to talk, John. At your leisure. And Passing Show just brings you a little bit of who, what, when, and where here in Washington, D.C. And it's primary documentation for historians of the future, potentially. Reminds me always of the primary documentation that was used by my late father to do research for Colonial Williamsburg. We've been putting some of that out there. The boisterous times he did in 1976, all the more appropriate to revisit those now as good resource. They are everything that was happening in 1776 in Williamsburg, Virginia, week by week, blow by blow, as it were. Just little snippets of primary documentation. Many times out of the Virginia Gazette, maybe other sources he was pulling from. But we would get those together so people could talk about things that were actually happening in town on a particular day in 1776. So we are walking up Connecticut Avenue. These boisterous times include the market, which I've been through earlier this morning, the live session. Went up to Daily Provisions, hung out with my friend, the former mob lawyer for Philadelphia. Philadelphia mob was something else. There's actually a documentary out there about that. And he evolved and eventually took a position as a contractor with HHS. Had that for many years and then retired out of that. I left him by the apples in the farmer's market. A lot of interesting characters around here if you take time to get to know somebody. Good morning, Hal and everybody from John Marshall. That's nice. Lee Penman has joined. Lee and I have been exchanging notes since early this morning after we did a little podcast with Colette Nelson, which I thought was very well, and I really enjoyed talking with Colette. Learned so much. I've got to look at the transcripts, as I mentioned, and see if I need to fine-tune them, but it's out on YouTube, it's out on Spotify, it's out on here at Substack. Harrowings podcast with Colette Nelson and Lee Penman. Thank you, Lee. Hi again. So Lee's in New York City, I think, and John Marshall, you're out in Nashville, or they're around somewhere. So where is everybody else? Who is everybody else? Lost Lives 100, I know, is a member of my board of directors. In other words, a paying subscriber to Harrowings. That's how you get on my board of directors. It's not very high bar. And you could be a co-chair of the board of directors if you want to join Eric Knudsen in that role. He's a founding member, my only one. I know it's a little bit of an outlay, $240 a year. But it would sure help move the needle for me. And that's one of the great things about Substack. It's an engine for culture, a new economic engine for culture, I think is the way they actually describe it on the front page. And if I'm doing anything worthy, it'd be nice to be supported economically. Of course, we are homo economicus, and every cent we spend is a vote for the kind of world we're co-creating. Medic 56 going by. The ambulance there, probably heading over to, considering that route, either Sibley or Georgetown hospitals, possibly going to George Washington University Hospital. Hard to say. Always something, as they say. If police cross the street, got to monitor them. That's a new color for them. I think this is, they've done a lot, they're repainting them black, the United States Secret Service. They were white in the past, but I guess this is a new thing too. Part of the Department of Homeland Security. They were coming up on the bunker. Stately building there with the turret on it is home base. And I live in an English basement apartment in the back, flush up against the alley behind me. The alley actually above grade because it's a slope we're on here. The other side of S Street here is rock solid. And this side is a little more sandy. Whoops, I can't go that way. Not yet. Now I can. Just, it's a crow. I like to watch the crows. They watch us all the time. Terrain is a little tricky. Ooh, advanced mathematics. Pearson second edition. I will borrow it. Applied choice analysis. Never put a cactus in the bathroom. That looks interesting. University of Manchester, econ. Oh, I can't handle that. I don't need it. I'll leave it for somebody else, but somebody packs that thing. The Romanians of America have provided that small free library. And we're going to look around a little bit. See if anybody's saying anything. Scottsdale, Arizona, catching a flight back to Nashville today. All right, well, have a safe trip. Sean Marshall. I'll have to catch up on everything you're up to. Because I've forgotten everything we talked about, basically, before the turn of the year. That was fun, though. I always like jamming with my friends, you know, whether it's on the phone, whether it's on Substack Live. It's all good. I hope you have a safe flight. I'm almost watching the airplanes crossing over here and thinking about where they're going. I can tell what they are and where they're going through a little app I have on the phone, Flight Radar 24, I think it's called. Anyway, I'm enjoying that technology. And I like watching the traffic flow because everybody's up to something. Everybody's moving if they ain't already there. As Bob Dylan once observed. Kind of busted up last night hearing Bob Weir died. But I'm glad that he made the transition safely and peacefully, was surrounded by his family. It seems right. In a similar way to my father did, I think. I don't know what kind of cancer he had that they treated successfully, apparently, but damaged his lungs, had an underlying lung issue. My father as well had the same. And I think there's some infections underlying too when he finally succumbed to whatever was going on. Wasn't getting the best medical care ever. Because they kind of ration that, you know, and they kind of don't really treat older people with the same kind of consideration that they'd give a younger person. There's a tendency to think, well, you've lived 91 years. I guess it's time. Bob only got 78. Phil got 84. So, you know, we got a lot of music out of those guys, though. A lot of culture, a lot of good vibes, a lot of happiness and contentment, a lot of love, a lot of kindness. And, you know, you can say what you want, but by and large, the culture fostered a kind of community, kind of shared experience, kind of looking out for each other. We just need more of in this world. I just can't stress that enough. Be the change you want to see. Every cent spent to vote for the kind of world you're co-creating with other people. And, you know, we can change the world. We can rearrange the world for better or for worse. Who's to say? Who is to judge? This is a nice arrangement, though, that was done sometime around 1904. And it still stands today as a place for people to live out their lives. 15 of mine have been spent living here under my serious security. And yeah, gonna wrap it up. Where's the button? Do want to acknowledge Jaden Levitt Research, Richard Hogan, MD, PhD, twice over, and Doctor of Business Analysis, Assemblywoman Deborah Mazzarelli, Patricia Stevens, and Lee Penman, John Marshall, Lost Vibes 100, Veronique Rodman, Jesse Jameson, and Frank Scudder. So, again, when I come on here, tell us who you are, where you are, and how you are. And that'll be an interesting conversation potentially. Um, just watching is fine too, of course, no obligation, but I like the participation. Makes the passing show more interesting. Out here.